Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it is your host with the most, Avery LR32 here. I apologize for not uploading the past few days. I've been out of town, and then I sent Gage 2 videos to upload for me, and then they weren't able to be uploaded, and yeah, so that's why I didn't have daily content for you guys. So I do apologize about that. I am going to upload those 2 videos either today or tomorrow. Hopefully today if I've got some time. I just got back in town. I literally just walked in through the door, and I really want to talk about this, but of course I didn't have a camera or anything on me. So it is the new rule changes that I was praying to God would never come to the TCG, and now they are, and now this game is going to suck in my opinion, or at least suck more than other people thought. So in case you guys haven't already heard from Vexy or anyone else, which is why I didn't cover it the day this happened, because like I said, I was out of town, and I apologize for that. But this guy was able to get his hands on the Super Starter Space-Time Showdown Pendulum dot structured deck, or I'm sorry, starter deck thing. So it just talks about the thing here, blah, 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 blah. Basically, on this post on Duelist Grounds, the guy was talking about how in the rule book that the starter deck comes in, the where you don't the ruling where you don't get to draw on your first turn will start in the TCG July 14th. Let me see if I can find it here. If I can find it here. Somebody needs to open that and find out the rule change. Well, it was posted here. Here it is. Now draw your top 5 cards. This is your starting hand. Each player draws a card at the beginning of the turn except for the first player's first turn. You can play cards from your hand only during your turn. So, and then the field spell rule was also applied as well. And I am going to be talking about both those in this video. So, let's hop right into it. So first of all, I want to cover the field spell rule, new ruling, because that's not going to take as long as the not being able to draw 6 cards on your first turn. The field spell rule, I think, is pretty neat, and I think it's also kind of a bad thing. It's a yin and a yang with this, because the problem is that with Harpies, they pretty much revolve around their field spell because they're able to just constantly pop their back row, and now the only way you can get rid of it is by playing MST or Dust Tornado or whatever kind of back row destruction to get rid of it, Lila even, which most people did anyways, because most other decks within the tier 1 to 3 range didn't run field spells unless you were using like Malefic Scale Dream with the Seal of Orichalcos. So it's also a good thing because now if your deck had an issue with someone playing under the field spell over it, well, that's gone because now both of you guys can control field spell, which is really cool. So that one, you know, I'm kind of indifferent about. You know, it's cool, and then it also kind of sucks that now you just can't play another field spell to get rid of someone's Harpy's hunting ground. But sorry, I had to drink the water. I'm turning into a whale. That's neither here nor there. Now, on not being able to draw 6 cards on your first turn. Okay, let's dive into this here. Not being able to draw 6 whenever I go first. That sucks. Because the fact that now, if you're... to me, it just makes the game more of a luck sack factor now, like more than ever. Because let's say I tell my opponent to go first and I draw 5 cards, and keep in mind, you know, you can't look at your hand before you decide who goes first or second, so it's all based upon what you think is going to be the best move. So, you know, let's say it's game 1, you don't know what your opponent's playing. You go, okay, I'm going to let you go first. You draw into 5 cards, and you draw into a god hand where you're like, man, I really wish I would have gone first. Your opponent's going first. They get 5 cards, and then they just get, like, the nuts, and then they don't even care that they lost a draw, because then they've got, like, say something like Solar Recharge, or One Day of Peace, Upstart Goblin, blah, 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 and then they just are still able to do a bunch of plays, even without that 1 extra card, and then they just give you the finger and say go. And then you're just sitting there like, okay, and my starting 6 cards are supposed to help me how? Like, that's just what I see happening now. A lot of people say it adds a skill factor. Please tell me how. If you mean skill factor as in I have to think about whether I want to go first or second in game 3, technically speaking, based on what my opponent's running, since I've already seen what they're running, or even game 2, depending on what happened in game 1, then it's like, I mean, how does this help me? It's stupid. Like, they could have just left it in the game, you know. Yes, going first isn't much of, I guess you could, I guess, call it a quote unquote an factor. I mean, because usually if you went first, that kind of sealed the deal because, you know, you got the extra draw and you were able to make plays, possibly. I mean, if your deck runs a lot of draw cards, then, I mean, that's nice and all. You just have to be sure you draw into that draw card. If you're playing Chamburn, I feel really bad for you because you need as many cards as you can possibly get. So only being able to start off with 5, you better pray to God you draw into some back row with a card D. Just saying. Slow decks like Monarchs and all that are going to be hurt by this. Like, to me, it seems like every deck right now, because of this new ruling, is going to have to run Upstart Goblin or some sort of draw power because it's just retarded. Like, really, the fact that I'm only going to be able to get to start out with 5 cards, and if I draw complete ass, like, I understand that's Yu-Gi-Oh, but come on, that's just insult to injury. Like, you can't give me that one extra card to hopefully get me out of that situation, and then my opponent gets to start with an extra card than I do. Like, are you kidding me? That's so stupid. I've always hated this ruling from the beginning, and I was always hoping it would never come to the TCG, but I guess Konami was retarded enough to bring it here. So, yeah, I don't see how this is going to balance the game in any way. I mean, everyone's just going to be like, oh, you can go first, you can go first, you can go first, unless your deck just is able to work around this ruling and be able to go first, and you just don't care. Which I don't see any deck doing that right now. I'm almost kind of glad now the self-destruct button is gone because you always want to go first with that deck so that you can be able to help set up your plays. And now if that card came back and I tried to run self-destruct button, then I'd only be able to start off with 5 cards, and I would have to hope to God I drew into, like, Destiny Draw, Upstart, One Day of Peace, or whatever, just to get my plays going. So I'm just kind of like, this is just stupid. Like, I've always, like I said, I always hated this ruling. This ruling does no good for me, and I just hate it. I really do. Don't worry, I'm not going to be like in my video where I said like 4 banlists per year. I was like, no, 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 this is retarded, no. No, I'm not going to be like that. Like, I actually gave a reasoning this time, I suppose. But still, at the end of the day, I hate this new ruling. It sucks. It's stupid, and I hope Konami gets rid of it. And hell, I'll even petition for it to get changed because I think this is the most stupidest ruling on the planet. Like, what does it do for the game? Please, like, maybe I'm just drawing a blank. Maybe I'm just stupid. I don't know. But please, someone tell me in the comments what this does for the game. Does it make it more healthy? Does it make it more luck sack factor? Because I see it as more luck sacky, to be completely honest. Like, it's just luck sack. Like, there's no other way to explain it. Like, it has nothing to do with power creep. It has nothing to do with player skill. Nothing. Just luck sack. Period. The end. Go on to the next video. So anyways, that's my little rant for you guys. Like I said, please explain this ruling to me. Like, how does this help the game in any way, shape, or form? Like, I get to mill an extra card if I'm running Lightsworn and I summon a monster that mills first turn, like, and then I get to see the card I would have drawn into. Okay, I mean, that's neat. Yeah. So someone please tell me how this helps the game. Or if you think it's horrible for the game, please give a more in-depth explanation, because I feel I've done all the explaining I can. It's a luck sack factor. That's all it is. If your opponent opens up God, then they're going to go God mode on you because they got that extra card, and you're just going to be like, well, damn, like, this is stupid. Even though you couldn't attack first turn and only get 5 cards, you still could go off. Yeah, I hate it. I really hate it. Like, they could have just left it the way it was. It was fine the way it was. I really had no issue with drawing 6 cards going first and not being able to attack. Like, nothing was wrong with that. There really wasn't. In my honest opinion, there really was nothing wrong with that. So please, tell me how this is helpful for the game, if you think it is. And, yeah, thank you guys for watching, and goodbye.